Look, the conversation nowadays is all about how far are you hitting the big dog? That's the topic of conversation. We see the USGA and how they're talking about club head speed, ball speed, distance that the ball's going, all of that. It's just, that's what everybody wants to talk about. And what you really want is you want to know how to hit the ball farther. Well, you got to swing the club fast. There's no question about it. But if you really want the ball speed, you got to hit it in the center of the club face. So how do you hit it in the center of the club face reliably? And to that end, what will happen when we miss the center of the face? So let's talk about it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to swing fast and I'm going to miss-hit the shot. I'm going to hit this shot poorly, but I'm going to swing fast. And watch what happens to both the shot and the numbers. So here we go. All right, so there you go. Now, let's take a little look at what happens with the numbers here. This ball is going to continue to roll, and it's going to roll, and then all of a sudden what we're going to see is we're going to see everything that happens with this shot. Now, club head speed's about 103. The carry distance right there was 247. Ball speed was 153. So not terrible. But you got to look at this right here. This is the impact point. This is 0.3 in the heel. And when you hit that in the heel, all of a sudden, you're going to lose some club head speed, and then some other things are going to change as well. So carry distance went to 247. The spin rate was only 1,900. What happened? Well, that club face might have been a little bit shut when you hit it in the heel. A lot of times when you hit it in the heel, you'll get a little bit of a cut, but you get a lot of variance. That's what happens. There's no consistency to launch angles, spin rates, carry distance. None of it is predictable when you get that poor strike, that off-center strike. And now, when we look at this, the other thing that happens is in the heel, in order to hit it in the heel, my vertical launch goes to 10.5. So I don't get a good launch. If you're going to launch it at 10.5, you need a lot of spin. But I didn't get that. Now, watch what happens here when I take this and I center up the contact. So make sure that I've got that in the green, which I have. And now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to center up the contact. And when we center up the contact, now all of a sudden these numbers should get a whole lot better. What was the apex on that one? 74. That's low. You don't want that thing to be in that height or at that height. So here we go. Okay. So now this one here gets a whole lot better. This one here, apex is at 93. Carry distance is 260. Total distance is well over 270. In fact, nearing 280 because we're rounding up. But so look at what happens to all those things. First of all, I got it 0.2 in the toe. So not center, but towards the toe. And a lot of people will tell you, if you want to get more ball speed, hit it a little bit towards the toe. So this is just slightly out there to the toe. Now, let's look at the rest of these numbers. Club head speed's at 105. Carry distance is 258. So I got a lot more carry. How about the apex? Well, the apex of that shot right there is 94 feet. The other one was 74 feet. So I got 20 feet more in the air. That allows that ball to go a little bit farther. What happened to my backspin? This is the number that I'm looking for, about 2,400. That's keeping that ball in the air. So when it gets on the ground, it's going to roll out a little bit, 276. Pretty good, right? So all this stuff, 105 ball speed, 105 club head speed, 156 ball speed. So fast ball speed, fast club head speed, good strike, and now all of it changes. And then finally, look at my vertical launch. It goes from I think it was 10.4 or 5. Now it's up to 11.3. And if I do a couple of little different things, now all of a sudden I can change that. Now, how do we ensure that we're going to strike it in the center of the face? So these are simple things to do and something that you can do at your house, provided that you've got the right ceiling height. You got to make sure you have ceiling height. So what I like to do is, and this is just a simple drill. The simple drill is focus your strike point. So what we do is we create a little target here. And what I recommend when you do this is I recommend you first starting out gripping down on the club. So I like to grip down when I first start this drill. We're going to grip down about an inch or two. That's going to give me a little bit more freedom to be able to move this club into that path. So I'm right in that path. Right in that path again, so I love that. Now I'm going to lengthen this out. So I lengthen this out. Again, I'm focusing on that path. So I get that right through. Give me hey, Gibbsy, can you give me a close-up on that? Give me like a 7 right in that path area for me. Okay, so there you go. Perfect. Now watch what happens. Ah, that's great. Creeping in. I love it. Now watch what happens with the path here. So right through, I'm going to do it again. Okay, so now I know what I'm doing to do that. And when I do that, what I get a feeling of is that my arms, as I'm coming down, they have a little bit of extension. My hands are a little bit away from me. I'm not pulling them down to the ground here. I'm letting them go out and away. When they go out and away, now all of a sudden, the speed of the club increases, but also, too, the club's path is now consistent right through that gate. So now what I'm going to do is this. I'm now going to use this tee for the strike and this tee for the miss. So all I do when I'm sitting there going is I'm going to make sure that's a little bit too much leeway, so I'm going to go there. So now I'm just going to make sure that when this club goes through, I'm going to miss this tee and I'm going to hit that tee. So here we go again. Put a little bit of speed in here. Let's see if we can't center up that strike. Okay, so that one there, I got a little bit of a shut face on that one. Club was pretty good. Not great. I slowed a little bit, I was a little more aiming. I felt like I was aiming that a little bit more. And what ended up happening was I got ball speed to 102. Club head speed to 102, so down from my 105. But that was a pretty centered strike. I got that kind of in the center of the face. In fact, I got it 0.1 in the heel. That's because I don't want to hit that heel thing, so I'm going to move my club out away from me a little bit, and it gets it just a little bit in the heel. So good transition, or good transference of energy, I should say. Club head speed 102, ball speed 153. I like that. Now, it had a little draw, not quite thrilled with that. Club face was a little bit closed, not quite thrilled with that. But I like the club head speed, ball speed, what we call smash factor. So let's try this one more time. And again, I like to use that heel tee right there. That's going to be the thing that I'm going to avoid. And I'm going to feel my club coming in and missing that heel tee and hitting the tee that the ball is on in the center of the club face. Oh yeah, I peppered that one. That one there was flush in the center of the club face. Spin rate on that is really good. Get out there. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I love golf balls that listen. Now let's look at all of our information here, because this is really exactly what I'm trying to get. So now 103 club head speed, very, very good. Ball speed goes to 155. So I went up 1 mile an hour, but I added 2 miles an hour of ball speed because it was so centered. Look at this right here. 0.0. So that's dead center. Can't be any better. That's dead center right there. Now, what are my numbers? What do my numbers look like? So apex at 98 feet. That's staying in the air. As that goes up, I don't need to get as much spin. Spin rate drops to about 2,100. So really good there. And what do I get? I get a 258.5 carry. Let's call it 260. And then all of a sudden, this golf ball gets out to 277.6. So we'll call it 280. Because who's really pacing that off anyway? At 277, that's 280. You're moving. Round it up. Just round it up. That's what I want you to do. So I got 280 out of that. Pretty good. 280 on 103 club head speed, 280 on 155 ball speed. Look at the vertical launch, goes up to about 13 degrees. All that stuff is really, really good. And the side spin, not a lot of movement to that. So I don't know, Gibbsy, if we have a trace on that shot, maybe Greg, you can pull that up and we can get a little trace on that. There you go. So there's that trace. I got a little bit of a draw. That's one of the reasons why that spin number is down. That ball is well down the fairway. It's not in the rough. It's in the fairway. Maybe on the left side of the fairway, but it's in the fairway. And so here's what you need to understand. And here's what I want you to appreciate. When you are wanting to create distance, yes, the club head has to go fast. Absolutely. But what has to happen is you got to hit the ball in the center of the club face. And that then will make the ball speed fast, because that's what this whole thing is about. Swing this fast so that ball can go fast. And if you miss the strike, you're going to lose ball speed, you're going to lose spin rates, you're going to lose apexes, you're going to lose carry distance, and you're ultimately going to lose total distance. So focus on that strike and use that gate drill. And remember, when you're doing the gate drill, start out gripping down on that club about an inch or two, so that you've got, let's say two things of your finger, maybe even a full finger down, and then just work on getting that club to go through that gate. After you get to doing that, now take it out, lengthen that, and then all of a sudden you put a ball on it later, and the next thing you know, you're focusing on hitting it in the center of the club face. Everybody gets up there and says, I want to hit this ball really hard. I want to hit this really fast. Yeah, great, but you got to get it in the center of the club face. You get it in the center of the club face, and you know what's going to happen? It's going to be a nice long walk before you find your golf ball in the fairway. That's how you create more distance with the driver.